One thing that seems to be impacting and affecting young people my age and roughly around my age the most is the messages and sentiments being found on the internet in today's world. I've made a few videos speaking about these sorts of things today already because it's on my mind and I think it makes for a good couple of topics. But viewpoints that a lot of guys now have around work, the 9 to 5 is villainized, it's evil, it's oppressive, and of course in some ways it is, in some ways it isn't. I've made a video on it so you can watch it. This whole concept of self-improvement, semi-positive, it depends. And now I want to talk about the concept of hustle culture, work culture. And today, I'm actually going to be calling it a bad thing, which might sound kind of surprising to a lot of you guys, considering how much I've spoken about running businesses in the past. Do I still run my businesses now? Yes. Do I think running a business is a tool that works for me to make money? Is it the way I like to make money? Yes. Do I think there's anything wrong with it? No. So where am I going with this counter argument today? There's running a business, there's having a job, and there's this hustle culture. And it's being really spread around the internet by so many people. So many people. I hear a lot of these influencers talk about the fact that someone like Elon Musk works X amount of hours a day. So if you want to be rich, you need to work X amount of hours a day. And there's an element of truth to it. But what's the overall impact? And I think it's overall negative. So first, let's understand why. Now, if you're in a bad spot financially, you probably do need a bit of hustle culture, if we're being honest. I'll give you a lesson that you can watch on this channel, something that I learnt. There was a time where I didn't have that much hustle culture for whatever reason, and my life was fairly okay. Then all of a sudden, big bill comes up, you don't have that much money left. Now you need hustle culture, right? You need it. And then in that time period, to be honest, I had a job as well that I got. I worked that job for a good couple of months to get myself back into the position that I'd like to be in. And of course, I was working on my business. And in that period of winter 2024, just gone, there was a lot of hustle culture going on. There was a lot of wake up, business, 2 p.m, work, 10 p.m, come home, business, something like that. That was my life for a brief period of time. And it got me out of the position. Now, I do still work hard on my businesses. But do I work endlessly like a lot of people profess? No. And maybe this is my true weak spot. Maybe this is where I'm going completely wrong. I do try every single day. Every single day I am doing something to do with business. Every single day I do something to forward my business. And not every day is this the easiest thing in the world to do. And to be honest, to be completely transparent, most days where I'm not doing anything else, I am working on my businesses for the majority of the day. So maybe I do have a bit of that mindset myself. But this mindset that's being professed is, don't do anything else other than run your own business and work on your business and miss out on having friends. This is just the dumbest message I've ever heard, right? It really is. Like I say, for a short period of time, you may get to a position or find yourself in a position where this is what is required. And it does happen. So let's not lie about it. But this concept of it being a long-term plan is unviable. And it's silly, to say the least. It will not work. So first we need to think about outcomes. So what happens if you do make it on this path? What happens if you do get rich running this business and so on? Well, you've missed out on a lot of life experiences. You've missed out on a lot of fun. And of course, that's not necessarily always a bad thing. But at the same time, what is life all about? This hustle culture has normalized a level of life which people haven't lived since the 1950s or beyond, right? Not most people. We now have this idea that most people should be spending every waking hour at work. Is that sensible? Is that necessary? And what will you actually achieve from that? Turning down friends, friendship opportunities, connections to focus on business. You might be rich, but what have you actually got other than that? And that's assuming that you even get rich in the process. If you want to work hard in a business, the results will probably compound over time. And I do believe in that. I do agree with that. But we have this message now, which is just getting really out of hand, where kids expect that they should be working 20, 30 hours. And it's good that people have a work ethic. But is it? Where do you actually go with this, right? This hustle culture is driving people crazy. Also, what you miss out on in life when you have this hustle mentality and nothing else, you actually miss out on, I think, a beautiful energy that comes with presence. So, if you're always focusing on the next thing, what have you learned from today? What have you done? Presence, right? Presence. Life is for living. And I would still advise anyone to work as hard as they can on any project. But now we have this mindset that people need to be working like 20-hour days every day. It's not realistic, it's not viable, and it doesn't make any sense, guys. So this hustle culture stuff, it needs to change. It absolutely needs to change. It's not having the positive impact that it was meant to. And we also are therefore leading to a world where people only prioritize money. Only prioritize money. And you see this a lot. A lot of our young people now judge each other on what they have in savings, what car they have. And these are all some measures of financial success, but they're not the makings of a person. It's changing our culture, it's changing the way people think, it's influencing the way people act in a negative way sometimes. It's not all meant to be work, right? Work hard, but don't forget to have time off. And don't forget to actually enjoy your life, because otherwise, was it all worth it in the first place? It's a very deep conversation, guys, so I'm going to have to cut it short for that reason. It's that deep that if we got into it, it would be a 50-minute long video, and I simply don't have the time for that today. But, you know, this work culture stuff, it's just like the hustle culture. Well, it is a hustle culture. It's just like the self-improvement culture and so many of these other concepts. The core fundamental message of it might be good, but it's displayed in a way and for so long that it becomes an overall negative. And I think that's really impacting a lot of our people today. So I want to know what you think about this one, because like I say, if I shared my opinions over the course of this video, it would be nearly an hour long, I think, because it's just such a detailed conversation. But yeah, we need to change the way as young people that we influence and think about things, because it's not having the desired positive effect that it was meant to. Hustle culture is driving people crazy. Work culture is driving people crazy. And they're failing to acknowledge the simple bliss and beauty that can happen in just everyday life, because they're too focused on this weird sentiment and message, which essentially mainly revolves around money. That's all for today, guys. Do let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. That's all I have to say. Thank you for watching. I hope I will see you in another video soon. Goodbye.